you can tell like he abuses his wife. Transaction, he didn't actually transfer it, he scheduled it for tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna get scammed. This guy is gonna like take my money away, and he took my car. We already signed all like the papers and stuff. Like he changed from stage 1 to stage 3 without all of these supporting mods, and he must have changed it to stage 3 and started thrashing the car, right? The engine blew up from buying this car at $8,500. Now I've sold this car for $2,500. And now this is one of the worst deal that ever happened. You know, it's a lesson learned. Whatever, you move on. It started off as looking for basically I was bored in Sydney. Again, I'm looking in the marketplace, browsing to see what's there, what's under $10,000 that I could buy right now, that I could drive around in Sydney, so I don't have to take the train. This is one of those my traveling months, every month in Sydney. So I came across a Mazda 6 MPS, and I thought, man, like these were cool and underrated. And that basically gets me excited because I like underrated cars. I don't like the mainstream. My cars are not that popular, but they're extremely fun to drive. So these basically tick all the boxes. It's all-wheel drive, it's turbo, it's manual, it's Japanese. I'm excited, and so I messaged the guy and asked like, hey, like, can I come in and check it out? And this is also one of those deals that it looks like you can hustle them because they didn't take a lot of effort in presenting the car, and it looks like he wants to get rid of the car. Took the train down, and I met up with him. First glance, like, man, like this car is pretty beat up. There's the paint is fading. There's a lot of like surface defects. It's not mechanical. I think mechanical, it's awesome. Like, it's been serviced well, it's been modded. There's some like mods done to it. The resonator has been deleted. It has like a air intake, there's blower valve, and it already has like a cop stage 1 tune on it. I'm like, man, like this is pretty cool. One thing with me is that I'm very impulsive and I make decisions very fast. Some people like to sit and think about it. If I see something I like it, man, like I would just buy it like on the spot, and I hustle him down. Like being a shrewd negotiator, learning from like VinWiki and stuff. I offer like $8,000, and we meet right in the middle at $8,500. Did the paperwork and stuff, and I drove away immediately. So the car was great. There's like nothing really wrong with it. It's just that cosmetically it's a bit rough, but overall it's fine. It's been serviced well, or like the fluids looks great. I really scored a really good deal on this car. That few days in Sydney, I took it down to the Old Pacific Highway, had a blast driving it. Oh man, like this car is fun. I'm used to a lot of power, so this was a fun little car to drive around. So drove it down to from Sydney to Melbourne, no problems, and it just sat, right? I just didn't drive it afterwards. Because I already have the AMG, the RS5. Like there's no like real reason to drive this. So it just sat for like a month, or like a month or so. I'll take it out once in a while, but it's really rare. So I decided, man, like there's no point just let it sit. Let's just decal it properly, give it a clay bar, spray wax, and to make it pop. Now, compared to the Golf, like this didn't really get that much inquiries because this car is not that. It's underrated, right? And here's one thing that I know, like it's one thing to buy these kind of like underground underrated cars. It's another story to sell them. So I listed up for a while, and eventually like one guy came and have a look, and he's really aggressive. Like he's one of those unrefined Australians, and like you can tell like he abuses his wife. And he wanted to pay $11,000 for this car. I'm like, man, $11,000. I bought it for 85, so it's still like a healthy amount of profit. So signed the papers. Instead of paying cash, like he transferred it to me, and which on the spot it was fine. And what I realized is, like when he transferred the first amount, like he did it in 2 payments. I think like it was like $3,500 and $7,500. So on that $7,500 transaction, he didn't actually transfer it. He scheduled it for tomorrow, which is a bit of a red flag. But I really didn't think that much at that time, until when he drove away after I have dinner, and it started sinking in, like, why is it scheduled and why is it not transferred. And with scheduled payments, you can actually cancel the schedule later, right? And at this time, I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the, like, I'm gonna get scammed. This guy is gonna like take my money away, and he took my car. We already signed all like the papers and stuff. So tomorrow turn around, I'm like, hey, like, I haven't got the money yet, and it says scheduled. Can you actually transfer the money? And he actually did. He actually apologized, and then he's like, he must have pressed like the wrong button, and he sent the remaining $7,500. I'm like, wow, thank God. You know, like, that could have went really wrong. So I thought it was over, but it's only the beginning. All right, 2-3 days come around, he started messaging like, hey, like, this car is not running right, it's misfiring. I changed the plugs, it can't be, you know. So he say like, hey, like, can you take the car back? I want a full refund. I'm like, what is going on? And so I say, you know what, bring the car back, take my Golf, and I'm gonna bring it to my mechanic to sort it out. Now, mistake number 2, right? Don't hand your car to someone else, someone that dodgy. But at that time, I just really want to get this over and done with, and I thought, you know, maybe it could be something that I'm missing. So I brought him to my mechanic. He take a look immediately. He do like the whole like thing that you just put it into the cylinder. I can't remember what that's called, but this camera that looks into like the engine, and turns out the engine was blown due to detonation. Right, he was basically thrashing the car. Now, what caused the detonation? Now, normally it wouldn't happen, but because it has the that handheld thing that you can change like the maps on the car. And when I look at the map history, like, he changed from stage 1 to stage 3 without all of these supporting mods, and he must have changed it to stage 3 and started thrashing the car, right? The engine blew up. So I confronted him, like, you know, like, you changed the tune and stuff, and obviously like he's actively denying it, right? Or like, I didn't do it, yada yada, it's not, I didn't touch anything like you said. So he's playing the denying game, and at the time I'm extremely like, I'm burnt out from this car. You know, I have my work to do, I have like these other things going on, so I didn't want to bother with it. I just basically gave him his money back, got my Golf back, because he's holding my car, so I couldn't really not settle this, right? If he didn't have my car, now that would have been a different story. Now, because he have my Golf, now I have to get that car back. So and this guy is, you know, he is aggressive, right? You can tell. I just have a deal with my mechanic, like, hey, like, if you rebuild this, sell the car, and then we'll just split the whatever. So at least like, I wouldn't lose like that much money. So it just sat in my mechanic's front yard for a long time, just because he's so busy with his shop. There is no time for him to rebuild this car. Eventually, I got tired of waiting, and I really want to get rid of this car. So I uploaded it on eBay for an auction, and it sold for $2,500. Right. So what turns out to be a potential profit from buying this car at $8,500, now I've sold this car for $2,500, and man, like, I'm not happy. Like, I got scammed, and I mean, it's a lesson learned, you know, like, shit happens, you move on, and hopefully people that listen to this don't make the same mistakes I am. Number 1, make sure like it's fully transferred and not a scheduled transfer. Number 2, don't hand over someone your car when, you know, like, when you're not supposed to, right? If I did these 2 things properly, then, you know, I probably would have escaped this situation, but shit happens. We just have to move on. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll really appreciate if you can show us your support by liking this video, subscribing, hitting the bell, or maybe share it with your friends, because it will really help out to grow this channel, right? Now, with that being said, right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.